Hi everyone, it's Rax and welcome to the Season 22 Leveling Guide featuring what I think is the fastest way to level probably ever in Diablo, the clone leveling. I'll show you exactly how that works. Let's get started. As always, the very first thing that you want to do in a season leveling journey is complete the challenge rift. Now, if you have a brand new account and you're wondering, Rax, why can't I click challenge rift? It's because you must complete the campaign one time all the way through. Then the question I get is, well, Rax, do I have to make my seasonal character and then do the campaign and then do the challenge rifts? No. You can do the campaign on any character on off season. Just get through it once or have a friend level you and then you will unlock the challenge rift. The challenge rift is a weekly challenge that gives you an incredible reward that you can do right at the beginning of the season, right after you've created your seasonal hero. Now, the challenge rift unlocks on a Monday, and the season starts on a Friday. It is critical that you do not do that week's challenge rift until Friday after the season has started. So one more time, you need to do the challenge rift for that week that releases on Monday only after the season has started on Friday. Otherwise, you cannot claim the reward on your seasonal character. I will have a full video guide for the build and exactly how to complete it on my YouTube, so look for that coming next week. Alright, well, for Season 22, if you've seen my tier list, Necros are going to be by far the best class. So, let's jump in and do this leveling guide, the template as a Necro. So the very first thing you'll do when you log in after you've completed the challenge rift is you'll go down here to the messages pending and go right here and claim the challenge rift bag. Wait. And you will see it will give us a bunch of bounty materials, blood shards, reusable parts, gold, all the goodies that we're going to need to do all the tricky stuff coming up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to our Templar or whatever follower you'd like to use, and we're going to go to their inventory and we're going to steal their stuff. Now, a lot of people sometimes go do a little bounty to go kill Zoltun Kulle real quick, but I find you actually get better loot, and it's much better instead to just go to Act 3 and run over here and check these two vendors. Usually they're selling you some pretty good stuff. That weapon's pretty good. Just buy one of everything, put on the shield, and come over here and see, do we have anything better? I'm just looking for green on the text. And there we go, and now we're ready to dominate. And let me put on my little sword. And look, we already have a full character ready to blast. Now, the next thing that we need to do is go get Kanai's cube. So that is in Act 3 in the Ruins of Sescheron. You'll go here, you'll run all the way to the end of the zone. You'll go to the next floor. And then at the end of that zone, you will find Kanai's cube. Now, for the clone leveling method that I'm going to show you, which is pretty much absolutely the best way to level, except for maybe on hardcore. You might not be able to do it on hardcore because it is a little dangerous. You can wait to go get the cube until around level 40, and that will actually be faster. So when I level up with my team, and I will be leveling with clone leveling, I will not go get Kanai's cube at the beginning. I will wait until we're like level 40 to do it, and I'll explain why later. But if you're not going to do clone leveling, you need to go get Kanai's cube right away. Now it's time to do some tricky stuff that's going to make us extremely powerful. First of all, from the challenge rift cache, we're going to get a bunch of blood shards. So we need to know exactly what we should gamble for from Kadala for all classes. I'm going to cover that right now in a second. And the other thing that we can do with all the rewards that we got is we can craft one legendary power that we can cube and try to hope for a tremendous multiplier that's going to help us while we're leveling up. Now, if you are doing the clone leveling, which almost everybody will, unless you're in hardcore, and maybe some people in hardcore will do it because they're brave, you'll do the gambling thing right away, and then you'll do the cube thing later, obviously at level 40 when you have the cube. Okay? But for now, let's go over both, and let's understand exactly how we should gamble and exactly how we should upgrade for every single class. All right, let's go class by class and see what we're going to upgrade and what we're going to gamble for. On Demon Hunter, you will absolutely craft and upgrade a one-handed dagger. When you upgrade it to Legendary, you only get two choices. Carlay's Point, which is going to make Impale do 1,000,000 damage, or Lord Greenstone's Fan, which is going to make Fan of Knives do 1,000,000 damage. So no matter what, you're guaranteed to get a godly multiplier, which is amazing. So you will craft and upgrade a one-handed dagger. Then we'll change the level at level 1 to see what we can gamble for. And gambling for the Wraps of Clarity is quite good because it's going to give you 50% damage reduction, so you could gamble for Bracers right away. And then if you get the Bracers, I'd probably go for the helmet for Leoric's Crown, because you put a ruby in the helmet and then you get more experience and you level up much faster. Now on to the Barbarian. We will craft and upgrade a two-handed mighty weapon, not a one-handed mighty weapon. I have been told several seasons in a row, Rax, there were some other resources that told me to upgrade a one-handed mighty weapon, but you said to do a two-hander. Which one should I do? Repeat after me, all the barbs around the world. I will not upgrade a one-handed mighty weapon. I will only upgrade a two-handed mighty weapon. Let me tell you why. Fury of the Vanished Peak gives you a massive damage increase to Seismic Slam. Gavel of Judgment gives you a massive damage increase to Hammer of the Ancients. Remember, it's a two-part thing. We also need to gamble. So when we go to gamble and we look at the Bracers, Seismic Slam multiplier, Hammer of the Ancients multiplier. All right? Do not upgrade one-handed mighty weapons. Do two-handers and pray for the multiplier that's going to align with the Bracers. And then, of course, gamble for the Bracers and try to hit both of them. And then, if you get the Bracers, go for Leoric's Crown for more experience. Now let's look at the Wizard. The Wizard does not have the best options, but it looks like our best choice is to upgrade a one-handed wand. We would love to get Unstable Scepter, 450% damage to Arcane Orb. That would be very strong. Wand of Woe isn't too bad, 400% multiplier for Explosive Blast. Fragment of Destiny is going to give you a 200 multiplier on Spectral Blade. The rest of them are not that great. Serpent Sparker gives you an extra Hydra. So there's a decent chance that you'll get something good there. And then unfortunately for gambling, there aren't that many great options either. So what I'd probably recommend that you do is go for Leoric's Crown. And if you get that, then I'd probably go for Leoric's Ring for more experience. Now on to the Crusader, which does not have the best options. We will upgrade a one-handed flail. Hopefully we will get Gyre Falcon's Foot, which is 350% increased damage for Blessed Shield, or Johanna's Argument, which is 100% damage and attack speed on Blessed Hammer. Remember, Johanna's Argument for Blessed Hammer. When we gamble, there's actually a crazy combination we can go for. If we gamble for shields and get Guard of Johanna, we could get another 250% multiplier for Blessed Hammer. If we get the shield gambling, then we could also go for the Bracers, which is going to refund the Wrath cost for Blessed Hammer. So Crusaders have one of the only possibilities where you could get 3 amazing legendary powers for the same skill, which is going to really help you leveling up. Onto the Witch Doctor. They also don't have the very best options, but we are going to go for one-handed ceremonial knife. There are a lot of choices, but we're hoping for the Barber, which is going to give us 250% damage on Spirit Barrage, or Dagger of Darts, which is going to give us 500% damage on Poison Darts. And then, at level 1, you can go for Mojos, where the Mojo's at, and go for Gazing Demise. It's going to be another multiplier for Spirit Barrage, especially if you get the Barber, then go for Gazing Demise. Otherwise, then just go for Helm for Leoric's Crown for extra experience. And finally, for the strongest leveling class you'll ever see, in the strongest class maybe ever in a season, the Necromancer, which most people will be playing, we are definitely going to upgrade two-handed scythes. All 4 of these are amazing. Bloodtide Blade is the ultimate. 400% increased damage for every enemy within 25 yards. Make a big pull, get everything around you. You cast 1 Death Nova, everything dies. Maltorius, 700% increased damage for Bone Spear. You're going to need this for Bone Spear. that you're going to get from the seasonal journey. We'll cover that in a second. Nair's Black Death. Every poison skill you use increases your damage by 100%. Just take a bunch of poison skills. You'll dominate. Relina's Shadowhook gives you a massive damage increase for how much essence that you have. So all of those are going to be amazing. You're going to get a great multiplier, and you cube it, and you're going to dominate. For Necromancers, you can gamble for the gloves. The Corpse Explosion gloves are extremely strong. Unfortunately, we can't get the new Bone Spear bracers at level 1. That would be insane if we could. But we'll go for the gloves first, and then we'll go for a Leoric's Crown for more experience. All right, so now that we know what to do on every single class, let's put it into action. So if I was starting a Necro, I would do clone leveling until 40. But right in the very beginning, I would gamble. Remember, we're going for the gloves, and we'd like to get Corpse Explosion. Okay, so we get 475 from the Challenge Rift. Give me Corpse Explosion gloves. And the chance to get it is very high. It's like 88% chance. There it is. Yay! Then, when you get it, go for Leoric's Crown. Dang. Okay, so now we've got our juicy gloves. And now, when you get to level 40... remember, our upgrade was two-handed scythes. So what you will do is you will go in here, you will go to two-handed scythe, or whatever it is for your class that we talked about, and make one yellow level 70, in this case, two-handed scythe. Run over to the cube, go to recipe 3, and we are going to upgrade it to a legendary and pray that it's one of those good legendary powers, but we already know for Necromancer we're going to get something good no matter what. And the ultimate is Bloodtide Blade. Bloodtide Blade one time. Bloodtide Blade. This is the season for us. And I'm sure now that I did it on this video, there's no chance I'll get it when I'm actually leveling. So then when you have the Bloodtide Blade, it's very simple. You go over to recipe 1, and you will have the materials to do this from your Challenge Rift. It never fails. Every season I always say, Rax, I couldn't do this. Rax, I don't have enough materials. Yes, you do. Do the Challenge Rift, and you can do this one time. If you can't, then you did something wrong. There we go. And we have our Bloodtide Blade, and now we're going to Death Nova and kill everything. Now comes the fun part. We need to level up the Blacksmith all the way, and we need to level up the Mystic all the way to 12. And then we're going to try to make a level 70 weapon, and then roll reduced level requirement by 30 on it, in order to get a super powerful weapon we can use at level 40, which is why I usually go get the cube at level 40. So what you will do, go on to your class, and you can do a two-handed axe, or you can do a two-handed mace, or you can even do like a bow if you want. And you're going to craft a level 70 yellow. Now, what we are looking for on the yellow is we want it to have a secondary crowd control. A slow, a freeze, a stun, a blind, it doesn't matter. Any of them. We need a crowd control on the secondary. That's the most important thing. The second most important thing is we need it to have life per hit on the weapon. So this one is absolutely amazing. It has a 4% chance to chill on the secondary, and it has life per hit on the primary. That is the ultimate. That is a perfect weapon. But let me craft another one just to show you. And you can't craft too many of these. You can only craft a couple. I got another perfect one. I can't believe it. It has a knockback, and it has life on hit. It's insane. Okay, so this one is pretty good. It's got at least the secondary crowd control. You must have that, but it doesn't have any life on hit. I'm just going to keep crafting them because I want to show you one that's total trash. This one is total trash. It doesn't have any of the crowd controls, and it doesn't have life on hit. So this is godly, this is medium, and this is unusable. And I'm going to show you why. So when you have these three weapons, you're going to come over here, and you're going to talk to Miriam, and you're going to re-roll them. Now let's take the garbage weapon. Okay. On the garbage weapon, you have to re-roll one of the secondary stats, so one of the two stats at the bottom, to get reduced level requirement. If you click the question mark, it'll tell you the possible choices. do you see how many choices I have on this reroll? Chance to fear, chance to stun, chance to blind, da-da-da-da-da. I am never going to get reduced level requirement. Never. Of course, now that I say that, I'll get it instantly. But you can see how impossible it is to get reduced level requirement. Never going to get it. And you don't have that many rolls here. So that's why if you craft a weapon that doesn't have a crowd control as the secondary, you've got absolutely no chance of it working. Okay, so no crowd control is terrible. Make a new one. This one has a crowd control. So then you pick the other one that isn't the crowd control, the secondary stat that isn't the crowd control. Hit the question mark. Ah, look how many choices I have. This is going to be so much easier. Notice how one of the choices is life after each kill. Okay, so we have 4 choices here. If instead you get a weapon that has a crowd control and life on hit, and then you check, it takes away that option, which is why it's so much easier to get reduced level requirement. So you roll this as many times as you've got. We already got it on our first try, and the best you can get is 30. So just keep on a plug-in. I think you can roll it like 8 times. What was that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Geez. Come on, one time. Terrible. So I'm not going to be able to use this weapon until 53. But when I'm level 53, I will get this 3000 DPS weapon, which will just crush everything for me. So the next thing I would do is I would buy all of your weapons while you're leveling up. So I need to buy weapons until I'm level 53. And by buy, I mean craft them. So I like to be really lazy. You could go through and try to really optimize this, but it's really not worth it. I'll just craft axes. I usually just craft axes because it's real easy, and we get a blue one as well. So you just craft one of each. See, this one is required level 21. Go ahead and make that. 29. And just craft it all the way up to 53. Hopefully you guys will get a little luckier than I did, and you should be able to get something better than minus 17. That would be probably the worst starting weapon that I've ever had. Okay, and then we've got this. Now, this next trick I'm going to show you only works on PC. I screwed some people last season telling them that it worked on console, and it didn't, so I apologize. This does not work on console. Hopefully I'll put a big warning. Doesn't work on console. Just come over here and quickly transmog every single thing to anything else. And you'll know that it's transmog because it's got the little purple swirly thing in the top left. And if you transmog it, then you can no longer mass salvage it. So if I go like this, and I like to just put them at the bottom of my inventory there. And I run over here, and I go to salvage. It will not salvage any of my beautiful weapons as I'm leveling up. Then as you level up, you can just right-click the new weapons for you, and you'll have it all the way up to your massive level 70 weapon. Now let's look at the very best way to level up in Season 22, brand new method, the clone leveling. So first of all, you can pump up the difficulty all the way to T6. It doesn't matter. T6 will be perfectly fine because your clones will destroy everything. And if you're playing on hardcore, you could go a little lower than T6. It doesn't have to be that high if you want to try to stay alive. We are going to die sometimes, but it doesn't matter because we're going to get so much XP, it's going to be worth it. So the way that it works is a clone will spawn anytime that you click a shrine or a pylon. So we want to find the waypoints which give us the highest chance to get one of those. I've tested this, and by far my top 5 are Cemetery, Leorix, and Southern in Act 1, Cemetery, Leorix, and Southern, Howling in Act 2, and then Lower Realm of Internal Fate in Act 5, or in Act 4. So every game, I just go to Cemetery. Okay, when we get the XP pool, I don't think we can get a shrine anymore, but just to demonstrate, I would just do a quick little loop-de-loop and just look for a shrine. And if I get one, I click it, and I have the clone following me for 1 minute, and then I would head down here into Weeping Hollow, and your clone will just kill everything. If you die, your clone dies, So try to stay alive, but that's literally all you do. You click a shrine, you run around for a minute, and you get a clone. So here I'd go over here. There is the shrine. Beautiful. So I just run there, and I would click it. And the second I have my clone up, all of that would die. It'd all be dead. Then I would run down over here. Wow, I actually took a hit there. That's insane. Necro OP. I would run down over here. And be careful over here. There are a lot of ranged monsters. Jesus. These walls, man. Why is Waller a thing in this game? Thank you. That was actually very nice of them to pull me across the bridge like that. Okay. And you just got to try to stay alive. It's easier said than done. Now, over here, there's a super high chance that there is a shrine right there. See? And then I would grab that. I promise it's way easier when your clone is actually killing everything. But you would run over here and grab that. So we chained 2 shrines together. Dang, this one's a juicy one. Doink. And then you would kill all of it. Do not change zones. If you change zones, you'll lose your clone. And then continue to walk around the map looking for a shrine. The second that you're out of shrines, port to town. Or honestly, it's faster. A lot of times, just let them kill you. Kill me, kill me, kill me. Thank you very much. And then port back to town. Okay, so then I would check Southern. Southern is super easy. There's either a shrine in this bottom left corner or there isn't. There isn't. All right. I saw the little healing well. Now we go to Howling. Howling is pretty insane. Go over here. Now there's usually a shrine somewhere right here. It's either a shrine or an XP pool. So let's see if we can find it. It could be up right here. It isn't, so then it's probably somewhere on this right side right here. You can tell I've done this once or twice. There it is. Boom. Now what you want to do here is you want to run to Black Canyon Mines, because Black Canyon Mines has 2 possible shrine spawns. So our clones would be killing everything. We'd be getting massive XP. We'd be very happy. And of course, people keep asking me, does it work in groups? Yes, it's even better in groups. You get 4 clones. The thing is you want to protect your leader, whoever clicks the shrine, because you do not want them to die, because if they die, then you lose your clones, then you got to go to a new zone. So whoever's the best at surviving should be clicking the pylons. When you get your pylon down, or when you get your shrine down here, run all the way to Black Canyon Mines, and there's 2 possible shrine spawns here. And usually it's right here. There it is. See? I've done this once or twice. Click. And you run around and you kill everything. And it's just so much XP. It's insane, because you're just clearing zone after zone after zone on T6. It's the hardest difficulty. And you literally do nothing. You just click the shrine, stay alive, and just run around. You can be very defensive. And when you level up, you can take anything with a stun, like Bone Spike's Sudden Impact. You can stun stuff at range. And we have another shrine. We're just infinitely running around, killing everything. Okay, so that's Howling. And then the very last one is super easy to understand. It is Lower Realm of Internal Fate in Act 4. And it's either right here or it isn't. If it is right here, then run up, and believe me, do not run into these 2 rooms. The shadow clones do not understand how to step into these rooms for some reason, and it will waste your time. Instead, go straight up the gut. Watch out for the archers and the fatty explosions. Go straight up. Everything here would be dead, but I'm trying to walk through it and survive. It's not exactly that easy. And then we just keep on blasting. And then when you get up to the intersection up there, take a left, go up that way, and try to find another shrine. And sometimes you can chain them back to back as well. Now, if you guys want to be really, really efficient and you have a group, what you can do is you can have, so what I do is, if I'm not the leader, for example, then the leader might be checking those normal ones that I just said, Cemetery, Leorix, and Southern. You can be checking other waypoints, specifically in Act 3. I'll go to Tower of the Damned, and I'll just peek right here. Sometimes there can be a shrine. There's no shrine. I'll very quickly peek right here. Sometimes there can be a shrine right there, and there's a shrine. I would say, let's do Tower of the Cursed. Everyone would port to us, and then we'd go that way. So if you're in a group, you guys can practice very quickly popping into all these different little zones and just seeing if you can find a real quick shrine and kind of work together that way. So I do have the video here, which I tried to explain here. We can't level with the clones here. So Debooty, one of my super good friends, I'm sure you've seen him in other videos where we try to speed run leveling as fast as possible. We leveled up in 44 minutes simulating the clones. Debooty was serving as a clone. He was pretending to be a clone. So I would run around, and when I clicked a pylon, he would follow me, and he would summon some mages and just kill everything for me. And it was roughly the same power level of the clone. And so it said solo clone leveling in 44 minutes. People are like, Rax, you're not solo, and Rax, you're not using clones. Oh, come on, guys. Debooty is pretending to be a clone in huge letters. That's why it's solo. Okay, and I can't use a clone because the seasonal buff isn't active, so he's pretending to be a clone. Please, guys, please. Give me some credit here. Jesus. Anyway, so let's just show you. So there's all the crafting. So let me just show you the beginning, how ridiculous it is. Now, I think Debooty accidentally, and it was my fault too, we accidentally had some bonus XP secondary rolls on his gear, so it looks a little bit stronger than it would be. But the concept is completely the same of how ridiculous it is. So let's just look at it for 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Cemetery. Let's just see it in action of kind of what it actually looks like. And we do the little loop-de-loop, and we get an XP shrine, but we don't get a shrine. And if you got this, you'd go duck into the Weeping Hollow. Okay, so then you go to Leorix. There's a shrine right there. So I tell Debooty, come down and pretend to be my clone. So he's going to be active for 1 minute with me. And all you do is walk around, and that's literally what will happen. The clone will just kill everything for you. Now, on the PTR, it was said that you need to have at least one legendary equipped for the clone to do damage, but Blizzard changed that, and now it should be quite strong even at level 1. So it literally will just start killing everything for you. And it is important as you level up to pick up the little blues and the yellows that the monsters drop. You will need them to stay alive. So make sure that you loot the bodies. You saw I'm checking the little shrine there. It's not there. But this is the idea, guys. I'm not going to make you watch this whole video. If you want to see a 44-minute run, here it is. We also did a 44-minute run without the bonus XP in groups. I died, so Debooty would leave, except there's another shrine right here. So it can be a little bit dangerous. But that's the basic idea of clone leveling, guys. It's the best way to level by far and how you should definitely do it unless you're playing hardcore. Let me quickly show you some of the other methods. So there's blade leveling, and unfortunately this is also not going to work on hardcore. You will again do this in T6. And what you will do is you're looking for the blades that come down and chop monsters in half. So I'm just going to try to squeak on by here. Hopefully none of the monsters see me. And we're just looking for the blades. If you can get these monsters to the blades, it is worth a lot of XP. And the hardest part, of course, is finding the blades. So it's a little bit easier with a group when you can split up. Come on, blades. These aren't blades. But if you're kind of a ninja at surviving, then this is a very good leveling method. It's also it's probably, if you don't have the clones, which we only have the clones for 1 season, right? But it's probably the best method if you whiff your multiplier and you get a really crappy legendary or really crappy level 70 weapon. Then blade leveling is probably the best way because you don't need any gear to do it whatsoever. Okay, we found the blades. Perfect. Then you just attract everything over to the blades, and they start dying. And I'm already level 2. Now I'm already level 3. Now I'm level 4. And that's it. It's so easy. I'm already level 4. Easy. Not quite as easy as the clone leveling and not hardcore friendly because we're on T6, right? If anything hits me, I'm going to die. Effortlessly leveling up in T6, killing all the monsters, and you can just bring everything on over here. And once you get Bone Spike's sudden impact, and you can stun them right underneath, and then you could Corpse Explode to kill them, and we're already level 6. Holy cow. This is amazing, and I'm dead. Okay, so that's the blade leveling in Halls of Agony level 1. Another way to level up is to do massacre bonuses. It's one of the fastest ways to level up, and I wouldn't say Necro is necessarily the best at it. Something like the Witch Doctor is incredible, but you can either go to Halls of Agony level 2 or the Fields of Misery. So just as one example, let's go to Halls of Agony level 2. And all you would do is just keep up your massacre bonuses. Now I don't do any damage here because it's in T6. So we would have to lower the difficulty tremendously. But all you would do is, you know what, let me actually demonstrate this for real. So let me, I don't know, expert? Can I kill an expert? Okay. So what you do is just keep on tagging stuff, keep on dragging it, and then die instantly. Any questions? That was the best explanation ever. I'm actually surprised they just killed me in one hit on expert. It's like, dang. How weak am I? So you just want to make sure that you have monsters to continuously hit. So don't Corpse Explode them all dead, otherwise you'd be in trouble. You can see I have 17 kill streak right now. And you just keep on a dragon, keep on a dragon. How did those guys one-shot me? First of all, that was very rude. Oh, I guess I'm over here now. All right. Let's use the Corpse Explosion, and I'm going to die here. All right, cool. How am I still alive? Nice. The second I walk away, I get Vortex back in every single time. Fun game. Okay, I got Beam. Ignore the Beam. We won't have that. For some reason, the season 21 is still active, so who knows why. But you just keep up your streak and hold it for as long as you can. The longer you see, we have 28 kills, and you just keep on going. 34 kills. Okay, I'll just purposely lose here, but only after we kill these blues to show them who's boss. 45 kills, 2 times XP bonus. You can play around with whatever difficulty you want to play on, but that's Massacre bonus. It's pretty good. You can. This is the first one you can use in hardcore, so that's good news. But just completely worse than clone leveling. Another viable strategy this season will be to level up in rifts, because remember, every time you click a pylon or a shrine, you will get a shadow clone. So you can come in here with your friends and just kind of YOLO it and pray. You want to know what I just thought of? You can even have, if you have a group, you could have 4 people make a new game and open a rift and just go look for a shrine. That might be really strong, and then just join whichever game has a shrine. You could probably do it on T6 again. And I'm guessing if 4 of you continuously open rifts, you guys could pretty quickly find a game with a shrine in it or a pylon. And yeah, this is all that you would do. You would just go look around. I think it's much better to do it in adventure mode, the way that I showed you, to go for the specific waypoints like the cemetery and Leorix and Howling. First of all, I think it's a lot easier. It's just a lot easier and more consistent to find the shrines, and I just think you're going to get more XP. The advantage of doing it in rifts is you will probably get better loot, so you will have better gear, but we don't really need gear leveling up. We really just need enough to summon a clone and let the clone do all of it for us. But rifts is another viable option, especially with the clones that are going to spawn next season. And finally, there is Cursed Chest leveling, which is extremely strong. And if you have people in your party get a level 70 weapon at level 40, it's actually stronger from like level 40 to like level 60 to do this method rather than the clones. So if your team wants to be really, really sweaty about it, you could get to 40 with the clones, go get the cube, and then do Cursed Chest leveling until about 60, and then you could probably go back to clones. But what you would do is you would go to Act 2 and go to Temple of the Firstborn. You may have seen this. You may have seen me do this on my stream or in the video that we have on Cursed Chest leveling. I'll show that to you in a second. But all you do is run forward, and you're looking for the Cursed Chest in Temple of the Firstborn and to keep your Massacre bonuses up. Temple of the Firstborn is insane for Cursed Chest leveling because it has a really good Cursed Chest, first of all, and it has a bunch of little monsters that you can constantly kite forward to keep up your Massacre bonuses. So here's the Cursed Chest, and sometimes it even has a shrine in here. So here we go. I need to get 100 kills. I already have 101 kills, and you just keep up your bonuses and just keep attacking the best that you can. Necros can use Corpse Explosion. By the way, I don't even have the gloves on. When you hit the level to put on the gloves, what is it, 15 or 16, you will just be destroying everything, which is why Bloodtide Blade is so good, because Bloodtide Blade will let you kill everything, and then you can blow them up with Corpse Explosion. If you have one Necro with Bloodtide Blade and the other one going full Corpse Explosion, the monsters have absolutely no chance. As you see, I casually have 191 kills here very easily. And I have a full video on this on my YouTube that I'll link in the description below if you want to see a full run. Don't know how fast we did it. It was in like 51 minutes with Cursed Chests. Then if you have the Shrine, you could take the Shrine and go run around the map with the clones. You get a bunch of amazing gear, and then you just leave game and do it again. So again, it's Act 2, Temple of the Firstborn, especially if you have a Bloodtide Blade. Run and go get the Cursed Chest, open it, destroy it. That is actually faster than clone leveling in like the 40 to 60 range, especially if you get the Shrine on top of the chest. All right, so let's pretend that we're 70 now. We're happy. We did our clone leveling. What do we do now? Well, first thing you need to do is do your seasonal journey. Okay, so Shift J if you don't know what your seasonal journey is. You do a bunch of beginner things like Chapter 1, do a rift, do 5 bounties, put some sockets, you can read through it. If you do Chapters 2, 3, and 4, you will get a full set. And this season is giving you the best rewards of all time. So for Haedrig's Gift in Season 22, the Barbarian is going to get the Savage set, which is the Frenzy set. It's probably the second worst one. So the worst is going to be the Hydra Wizard. That's the worst thing to start with. But it's actually still good. It's still good. But it's the worst of the 7. Then probably the Savage is the second worst. The other 5 are so good. Aegis of Valor is insane. It's the Heaven's Fury and the Fist of the Heavens Crusader. It's absolutely bonkers. The God DH is quite possibly the best build in the game. And if it's not, it's probably the Patterns of Justice Tempest Rush Monk, or my personal favorite, the Bone Spear Necro. This is what most people will be playing. And then the Spirit Barrage Witch Doctor. I mean, all of these are so strong. So most of you will probably go Necro and get the Bone Spear set. So that's definitely priority number 1. Do your bounties and make sure that you get your set. It's really going to help you. If you go Necro, one thing that you must find is the Haunted Visions Amulet. And there is no great way to do that. You could craft amulets and upgrade them, but there's so many amulets, it's very hard to get. That's why I think a lot of groups, and I'm pretty sure what my group will do, is level up as Quad Necro. Go Quad Necro and give whoever your 2 rats or your 2 Bone Spear characters are, give them the 2 Haunted Visions, and then just power level whatever you need, the support barb or whatever else. So if you're leveling as a team, strongly consider leveling up as Quad Necro and start looking for the 2 Haunted Visions and pass them to whoever is going to stay on Necro, and then have them power level you whatever you need. I strongly believe that's going to be the fastest start you can possibly have. And now one final topic that people have asked me to cover. Rax, what do you do to get powerful after all that? You level 1 to 70, and then you do your beginning seasonal journey, and you have your set. What do you do? The answer is Greater Rifts. You should always be doing Greater Rifts, and you should be doing speed Greater Rifts. It should take you no longer than 3 minutes to complete whatever level you're at. So if your character is currently strong enough to do 70s in 3 minutes or 75s in 4, then do 70s. You need to keep the time really low if you want your XP and your gem level ups to be flying. Now, once you level up your main gems, to whatever level you're currently at, you need to start leveling your augment gems. So level up other gems, whatever gems they are. Like here, you see I have this full stash of all these gems that I leveled to 122. And you can destroy these gems in order to put a main stat on an item. So for example, we have a 122 here. Let's say I want to put some intelligence on this. Can we? I don't even know if we can. Oh, whatever. I'll just put it on the fortress ballista. Let's at least put dex on it. So just as an example, I level this gem to 122. I want to make this fortress ballista stronger. It already has an augment on it, plus 530 dex because I destroyed a level 106 gem. You go over here to the very last recipe, Kaldasan's Despair, put it in, put the legendary gem, and it's going to give you the main stat based upon which stat you pick. Of course, I'm going to pick Emerald because I want to put dexterity on the Demon Hunter weapon that uses dexterity. Boom. And it's going to override my old augment and give me plus 610 dex on this fortress ballista. It is extremely important that you augment all of your gear, and your gear can only be augmented if it's ancient or primal ancient. That, I think, is the biggest mistake that beginner players make, is they don't augment their character right away. You should be leveling up other legendary gems, and the second that they're at the level that you're currently at, if you're doing greater of 70, the second that that gem hits 70, run over here and put the augment on the best piece of gear that you have, and keep doing that until you have 13 of 13 augments, and you won't believe how much stronger and how much tankier you're going to be. That's what you should do at the beginning to power up, to get XP, the gem ups, and to get the full augments on your character. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I enjoy making these videos every season. It honestly keeps me fresh and reminds me how to do everything. If you haven't checked it out, check out my clone leveling video, where Djibouti serves as my clone, but I promise you that's how the clones behave. They're just going to destroy everything for you. And I hope you guys are going to have a lot of fun next season. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited to see, what the clones can do. I think the clones especially are going to really help the casual players, because in the lower level greater rifts, those clones really, really destroy. So if you have any questions or comments down below, feel free to post them. I'll be happy to answer them, and I will see you in Season 22, and look for the Challenge Rift guide that I'll be posting next week. Thank you.